welcome to Bronx Talk. Special show tonight, something totally different from what we usually do. And what it is we invited 3 Bronx caterers to come here to show what they do, talk about the local economies, to serve us a little bit of food, and we're going to get right to it. So the first one is William Donahue, who's the owner of Fox Street Barbecue and Grill Catering. Nice to see you, William.
Hey, Gary, nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
They tell me I could call you Bill, so we call him Bill. And one thing I will just say straight out, you're a firefighter. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Tell us about Fox Street Barbecue and Grill.
So I started Fox Street Barbecue and Grill a couple of years ago. I had my love for food, my love for cooking, love for family, friends, and named it Fox Street after Fox Street in the Bronx, down near Fort Apache. That's where my dad was born and raised, so as a little honor to him, Fox Street Barbecue and Grill Catering. Love barbecue, love putting stuff on the smoker.
And what do you do now? We're going to show some of the food and we're going to taste some of the food. But what do you do? I should really tell the people of the Bronx. I met Bill at the Pleasantville Music Festival,
yes,
and he had said Fox Street, catering, and I was like, oh, well, if you're on Fox Street, maybe we could put you on TV.
That's it.
So that's how it got started. But what do you do? So you, let's see, you've got the backyard cookout, the BBQ cookout, the FDNY cookout.
Yeah.
What do you do and what do you cater?
We've got all different types of packages, Gary. We cook for anything from birthday parties to wedding events, corporate conferences, corporate events, any kind of private party where somebody likes to have you set up food. Everything is homemade. Take the time to smoke the pork, my mom's homemade German potato salad, the homemade pickles and the coleslaw. Everything's sliced up, handmade. And
at what point in your life did you say, hey, I think I can cook, or was it something that you just knew you always could? You became a firefighter, and then you decided.
It was actually in the fire department. Before I got to the fire department, I couldn't make a grilled cheese, and when I got to the fire,
I'm on that page. I can tell you that.
So I've been there for 17 years now at the firehouse in the Belmont section of the Bronx. So we're lucky. We have Arthur Avenue near us, so we get a lot of good ingredients and stuff like that. And I just fell in love with cooking and always love to eat too. So.
And I will tell you, one of the things that really inspired me when I met them is the food was really good. And I said, if I'm going to have somebody on here, I may as well have somebody with the food is good. Now you're going to make something while we're talking.
I'd love to.
Right?
That'd be great.
Okay. So tell us what we've got here and what it is that you're going to make.
So this is one of our signature dishes. We have pulled pork that I smoked for about 10 hours, and then I braised it.
I don't know if people could see. It actually says, what does that say? Fox Street,
yes.
Right up in the sauce that's on top. But
that's our Alabama barbecue sauce. So the homemade sauces that we make, obviously the Kansas City style is a ketchup base. A lot of people don't know about the Alabama barbecue base. It's a mayo based, and it's one of my favorite barbecue sauces. I put it on pork, I put it on chicken.
That's what
that is right there on top of that. Right. So after I smoked it, I braised it for about a few hours, so then you get it nice and tender. So it's got that smoky flavor, and it's also got that tender, juicy texture and flavor as well.
Listen, I'm looking forward to doing this, but I have to admit, we are shooting this in the morning, in the late morning. I rarely have barbecue at this time of day. But keep going. So what are you putting in?
Of course. So we put on top of that, I do my homemade coleslaw, mayo-based, apple cider vinegar, a couple other things.
This is what I had when we were in Pleasantville.
I think yes. And then we do our pickles, homemade sliced pickles, braise them in, cook them in apple cider vinegar, a couple other secret ingredients.
Do you eat your own stuff?
Of course,
You
always.
do?
Yeah, I love to eat my food. I make all my favorite things that I like to eat. That's really what I like to cook.
So now you're going to fold that over?
Yes, I fold them over. Then I would put some of my mom's German potato salad right on top. And I would put some barbecue sauce on top of the pulled pork. There's a little bit on, but I like a good amount because, like I said, it's all made with love. We have some people in the studio
and their mouths are watering like mine.
It's all my favorite stuff.
I don't want to... Okay, while I take a bite here, I want you to tell me a little bit about... what you do, who you serve, who orders stuff. I mean, to me, it's always about the Bronx. So talk a little bit about the business of running this business while Gary has his late breakfast of pulled pork. Go ahead.
Of course. So we usually get hired by, like I said, all different types of parties, all different types of people. My favorite are birthday parties, weddings, happy events. We also do corporate conference events from New York City to Long Island to Westchester. It keeps us busy. Between that and the firehouse, I like to be busy rather than sitting around looking at my phone. So we do that. We set up. We put a 10 by 15 tent. We set up. We bring our grill and our fryer if wanted. That's what we do with the backyard cookout. Is kind of an ideal kind of barbecue grill type situation. Or we can bring our stuff to catering halls and restaurants and stuff like that. And we bring our food there as well.
One of the things. Is there a napkin? I see my friend Joe he knew right away that I was going to need a napkin. This is very good, by the way.
Thank you.
And you know what really makes it is the other things that you put in it. The barbecue sauce and the coleslaw is excellent.
Thank you. It's all made with love.
Where do you make this stuff? Like, because you don't have a storefront.
No,
you
I don't have a storefront.
You don't have a storefront.
So a friend of mine that worked in my firehouse, he owns a City Island Diner, so that's where I use it as a commissary kitchen, another Bronx place.
Of course.
And yeah, great guy. My friend Jimmy owns the restaurant, and he lets me use the commissary kitchen for a small, very discounted fee.
And so you use that kitchen. But you see, to me, this is what. Sorry, normally I'm not used to talking after eating a barbecue sandwich. But this is what's exciting to me, is that this is really, and that's what this show is about the Bronx, is about Bronx people working together. Talk about the economy a little bit. People who want to have something catered, and nothing against anybody who runs a big catering house. It's really nice when you can work one-to-one with people.
100%. I feel like it's more of a personal experience. During COVID, I feel like a lot of people, myself included, we like to go to restaurants, but a lot of people enjoy being outside. Some people enjoy being in the comforts of their own home. A lot of people do outdoor events nowadays. So a lot of things are geared towards catering versus restaurants, and I feel that it's much more natural to be outside, to be at another place cooking and meeting new people is what I love doing.
Do you have a crazy story? Is there something weird or different?
Yeah, but nothing I can talk about on Bronx Talk.
And what are the kinds of events that you normally do? And one of the other things we're going to do today is to promote. We want people to look up Fox Street Barbecue and Grill, and when you're looking for all kinds of parties, that you should call them.
Yeah, so we will be at the few events that we have other than private events. We'll be at the New York Cocktail Expo, which will be in Long Island City, Queens on August 18th. We'll be at we're always at Lyndhurst Castle in Tarrytown. We do a craft show there, 3-day festival, which is a great show. We also do the Garrison Festival, which it's a craft show in end of September. And then August, we have a bunch of parties and stuff like that. So I kind of work around the private events and then fill in with other good festivals.
Bill, you're the best.
Pleasure to meet you,
Bill
Gary.
is the best.
Thank you.
He's making great food. Gary's going to have another bite. And then we're going to take a break and we're going to meet some other people here who are doing stuff. All right, so I'm going to...
Thank you so much.
Fox Street, I can't talk with my mouth full. Fox Street Barbecue and Grill, and it's Bill Donahue. We'll be right back. Well, this is fun, and it's particularly fun for me because I get to eat everything. We are going to do something really special because this is a little different from your traditional kind of caterer. The organization is Project Renewal, and so please join me in welcoming Sylvania Cherry, who's the Assistant Director of Project Renewal's Culinary Arts Training Program. Nice to see you, Ms. Cherry.
Nice to see you.
And the Kitchen Manager of Project Renewal's City Beat with a B-E-E-T Kitchens. It is Eva Rodriguez. Ms. Rodriguez,
nice to
have
meet you.
you with us. Ms. Cherry, I said this was different from the other catering organizations and companies we have. Tell us about Project Renewal.
Well, Project Renewal, as you know, it's been around for 55 years. It services the homeless, formerly incarcerated, and those who are dealing with substance abuse issues. As it relates to City Beast Kitchen, City Beast Kitchen is a social enterprise catering company that provides catering services throughout.
So what a decision was made somewhere along the way that, gee, if we take people who have been through a lot and who've had difficulties in their lives and teach them to cook, teach
Yes.
them to do this? That's what you do?
Yes, that's what we do at Project Renewal.
Talk about the young people who are, and they're not only, I made that mistake earlier, many are adults, right?
Yes, many are adults. You know, we service everyone. We train everyone from those who are formerly homeless or homeless, formerly incarcerated, individuals dealing with substance abuse issues, even individuals who don't live with those issues. We service anyone. Anyone who wants to learn how to cook, we pretty much train them.
And I guess it's very logical. How did it come about? Like at some point somebody said, we've got people who have needs, we got people who need support. You know, who came up with this idea that said, well, wait a minute, let's have them cook?
Well, we can definitely give that credit to my director, Ms. Barbara Hughes. She was a huge advocate for bringing individuals from different backgrounds within the food service industry, because that's what she saw it lacked. And, you know, because she's a chef herself, so she said, why not develop a program that can bring culinary training to those.
And I assume that people who go through the program all of a sudden have a skill, they can potentially get work. I mean, it moves them forward in their lives, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
You've seen people literally change their lives.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I do what I do, because I love to see them succeed.
And we assume Ms. Rodriguez feels the same way. Talk
Absolutely.
about City Beet. Now it's B-E-E-T. I'm a big fruit guy, and I'm sitting there staring at this fruit pile here. But talk a little bit about City Beet, what it is, and what you do with the people who go through it.
Well, more so
And
for
then I'm
me.
going to have a taste of a sandwich, by the way. Go
Well, for
ahead.
me, I actually started through the schooling through Project Renewal.
You
They have
were a
schooling.
graduate?
Yes, absolutely. And I was employed through them. So I started as a client working. I first started working, then I started at the shelters. So I've been cooking for the shelters now for 7 years. I deal with adolescents.
And for you,
Yes,
this changed your life.
absolutely, big time.
And should I ask, what were you? And obviously now you're a director of a very important
Actually,
program.
what was I? I was all over the place, actually, until I found the cooking.
That's fair. We don't need to get into it.
All over the place.
But, so now what do we got here? You brought some stuff. Now, you do catering with the people who
Correct.
participate in Project Renewal.
Yes.
So now what do we got here?
We have just some basic sandwiches that
Okay.
we supply to some of the contracts as well as some of the outside companies. City Beats supply like catering, weddings,
And you do all that
or
stuff?
yeah,
Isn't that
everything, all
exciting?
of the above. Yes.
And the people who do it are people who have maybe been through some difficulties, but let's go
Absolutely.
past that and say you teach them how to cook. So what kind of sandwich, who's going to tell me what kind of sandwiches? Because I see which one I want to try, but what's here?
Tuna, you
Okay.
have some turkey,
Right.
you have ham, and
The one
I
in the
beef.
front
believe
here.
you have some roast beef or some
And this
pastrami.
one is what?
That's
more so-
vegetable. It's a vegetable.
That's actually the one I'm going to try. Can I do that?
Absolutely. Go
Absolutely.
for it.
While I do that, I want you to tell me where, what kitchens you use, what facilities you use, and you know, kind of explain the process of how people go from point A to point B to even where you are in point C. Okay,
Well,
I'm going to.
This comes
is
from
the veggie sandwich.
the Geffner Kitchen, the main kitchen downtown. That's the catering company. Basically, what we do is we just cater the public, the community, make sure the shelters are content, make sure everyone is fed well.
Do they have specific classes? Do you have like a specific curriculum, or you bring them in and teach as you go along?
Oh, I can attest to that.
Please do. You don't mind that I'm going to be eating
Absolutely,
while
I
we're
want you
talking.
to. So the culinary arts training program is comprised of 6 months of training, 3 months hands-on kitchen training, where they learn the basic techniques of culinary arts from knife skills to different cuts. They learn about soups, sauces, stocks, marinades, grilling, pan frying, deep frying. We also teach them about time, about temperature, sanitation. We also...
So, by the way, this is excellent. I've had many of these kinds of sandwiches. This one is top of the line. So they really get skills that really can turn into jobs. And so if you're dealing with people who are homeless or who have other issues, this is the answer. I mean,
Absolutely.
You know, I wish I had a harder way of saying it. This is the answer.
It is. It is.
And Ms. Rodriguez, for you, what's the joy? Why do you think this is great? So I'm gonna have another bite, and then I'm gonna have some fruit. If you
the
don't
pleasure
mind.
that comes from people when they do things like you.
When they
enjoy
have
it.
people like me who are just
And they
scarfing
enjoy
it
it.
down.
Yes, that's the best objective of it all.
Do you see people who have changed their lives?
Yes, it changed mine. So, and I've seen other people's lives changed. I've helped a few people of my own.
And then they get jobs?
Yes.
Wow, kind of unbelievable. There are interns here. Are these interns who have been through the program, or you bring them in from colleges? Or, I mean,
No,
is that your thing?
The interns
Sorry,
are
I'm eating while
interns
we're
are
doing this.
trained by us, and so once they complete the first 12 weeks of training, they are assigned to internship sites throughout the 5 boroughs. Most of our interns are assigned to sites within Project Renewal under our catering company, City Beats, which is a social enterprise as stated earlier. So she receives interns, so it's like she pays it forward by taking on interns and showing them how it works in the kitchen, and providing them with the extra skills.
So I'm going to be very polite and use the tongs. I'll start with the watermelon, but I want to leave some for my colleagues here in the studio who have done very well to set all this up. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for feeding Gary and the crew
Absolutely.
and other people who are going to be coming by.
Enjoy.
And really, thank you for taking care of people in the Bronx and giving them opportunities. We were talking about local economies. What could be more local than taking people who don't have and giving them skills so they can have?
Right.
Eva Rodriguez, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Sylvania Cherry, thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having us.
And we got one more to go. We're going to take a short break, and Gary's going to keep eating. Okay, this is going to be our last segment, unfortunately, because Gary has really enjoyed the culinary delights. But we are here with S.G.S. Catering, and so we'll say good evening to Chef Steneth. Nice to see you, sir. Now, Malika Grant is the daughter, and she's the executive director of operations, and Sharon Robinson is the executive director of catering and private chefs and all those kinds of things. Nice to see both of you. S.G.S. is who? Is what? It's a family business. We're all family here.
Yes, we are.
Tell me a little bit about S.G.S.
Okay,
and the creation of it.
so S.G.S. Is a family-owned business, as you can see. I have other 2 sons, involved, but they're not here today. They're away in school. I've been a chef. I started from Jamaica's at 16 years old. Been cooking on the, street side, like cooking they get in Jamaica, the jerk chicken, the fried chicken. So I came here.
I love the way he says that. like, yeah, you know.
And, I worked in the Bronx, worked in a nursing home. I work in...
What made you say, I want to do this at the age of 16? Because in my discussions with you, you are completely dedicated to this.
Yeah, it's a long story, but I'm going to compose it real quick. At 16, when I went to high school, I used to do track. I wanted to go into electrical, and then what happened, all the practicals were filled up, and my teacher, Miss Elliston, saw me in the culinary, and she said, "Come in, my son, I have a space for you." And that's where it all started. And I just loved it, and I continued on from there.
What do you love about it? You love making the food?
I love making the food.
By the way, folks, it smells unbelievable here. Go ahead.
So yeah, I love the food. I started out baking first, but then I liked the heat, the flavor, the smell of the kitchen. So I come over to the hot side, and the hustle and the bustle and creating. It's a good feeling creating different dishes.
Sharon, talk to me about where we're going to show you exactly what the food is. Gary's going to get a taste, I promise. They promised. Talk to me about where you make the food and what kind of the size of the organization and the size of the operation is.
So we do have a kitchen, a restaurant as well, located in the Bronx on Boston Road. It's 3563A Boston Road, and we have a fully equipped commercial kitchen there that we do mostly of the cooking.
So even right now, there's the restaurant there, and you've got a very large operation. And,
Yes.
what makes this S.G.S. catering special in terms of the food, which Gary's about to try?
So the food is curated based on every client, and they're liking on exactly what it is that that they're in the mood for, the flavor for. If it's Thai food, if it's Southern food, Italian food, we curate just about anything.
You're just as versatile as that.
Absolutely.
Malika, what's your favorite food? Number one, to make and cater, and number two, to eat yourself.
My favorite would be the salmon. The salmon.
The
is
salmon,
very
which
good.
is here.
Yeah.
Okay, we have that, and maybe I guess we'd have to cut a piece for me to eat it. Okay, and what do you like to make?
What I like to make everything because we're so versatile. So it's good to do different cuisines and learn how to do it.
So what am I? So should I taste the salmon, ladies and gentlemen?
Sure, you could taste the
Excuse me,
salmon. I'm going to put a little bit of sauce over it for you, so
Oh.
you can get the real flavor.
Okay.
It's a sweet chili tamarind sauce that I make.
A chili tamarind sauce.
Yes, so I infuse the
Oh,
flavor.
so you made a full plate for me.
Yes, so
Wow, all right,
over
let's move
here,
that here.
we're going to bring you over here.
All right, Gary's gonna look at this. So let's see, what's on this plate?
So on this plate, we have a nice pan-seared salmon. So as I said, I like to create flavors, so I use a little bit of Louisiana-style Cajun. We season, sear it, and we finish it off in the oven. Then I make a tamarind chili over it.
Okay.
So tamarind is from Jamaica. We
And
have a
then-
truffle mashed potato with some broccoli and carrots.
Wow. Oh my goodness. After having lunch in the other two segments, this is dinner. I had breakfast. Wow. Excuse me. We're gonna. You guys talk amongst yourselves. We're gonna have food. This is just absolutely scrumptious.
Thank you.
I would say this is the best salmon I've ever had. And really, it's fresh, and the sauce really works like crazy.
Yes, it's how you pair your dish. So you gotta know how to pair your dish. So the salmon, the potatoes, and this goes together well with a broccoli, and so
Yeah.
that's how it goes. A combination. So the potatoes kind of
I'm going to taste
fold
the
in
potatoes,
and the flavor.
and then the other thing. Where's Kaya? You want to come on? We're going to let you taste the wings, right?
Oh, yeah.
Kaya's
I'm
works
waiting.
on our crew, and he's been doing an amazing job, especially today. He's not wearing a microphone, so he's not. That's all right. Go back. How is it? It's delicious, right? He gave us a thumbs up. Wow, this folks. This was a proper dinner. You told me when I spoke to you yesterday, just to make sure we were set up for the show. You told me that you were very busy.
Yeah, we were busy. So we work with many different catering, and we have different clienteles. So one of our largest clientele right now is Datadog, and we are connected to them through Zero Catering.
What is Datadog?
Ms. Shari will be great to explain that to you.
Go ahead. What is
So Datadog is a huge corporation that's their headquarters is located in the New York Times building in the city.
Oh, wow.
There are about 1,000 employees in that building. We cater each week about 2 to 3 times. We curate menus for them, and they are a stock company.
And so when you look at business, small, we talk about small business, but you are, because the quality is so good, you can work with a big company, you can do weddings and bar mitzvahs and sweet 16s and holiday dinners and all that. Do you have a favorite dinner to do, or you just are so happy to work with everybody?
I'm so happy to work with everybody.
I knew that was going to be your answer.
It's not too small or too large for us to do. And we do
I'm going to have
everything.
another bite, excuse me. Go
Sure,
ahead.
take your time. So also we are in this area in the community of the Bronx, which Shari is located. She run mainly the Monroe College campus cafeteria. That's one of the cafeteria we take over, and we've been doing a fabulous job. And we've been in there a year now, and she's doing an amazing job in there. And
How many meals can we characterize this? How many meals do you serve a day or a week?
in Monroe College?
No, just
Overall.
Overall,
Good.
so
Any amount.
it's about, I will tell you, we
Thousands.
serve over about
Yeah.
3,000.
3,000 per
Per
what?
week.
Per week.
For the week, yes. With
3,000.
with Datadog, and also there's other clienteles we have, like Robin Hood, we have Gusto, we have different clienteles,
Client.
and then we have the private caterings.
Do you have a favorite? I'll ask each of you. Favorite kind of event to do? Do you like? Or
I like weddings.
You like weddings because
Yeah.
they're so emotional and so
Yeah.
wonderful.
And I
Well-
love the school as well. A lot of different, personality. So it's great.
To me, the variety and the volume. We were talking about it beforehand. I love the local economy. So you deal with Bronx people who are having a party,
Yes.
or who are having a wedding. It must be such joy. But this is what really makes Bronx people working with Bronx people, hiring Bronx people, Bronx people with great talent. And I'm telling you, this is really, really good.
And they like the difference in the Bronx. And when they walked in, they're like, "Oh, you guys are here, and we can present something." And what we do, we work with everyone's budget so they can feel comfortable, and as bad as the economy is.
I can understand that. Well, listen, Chef Staneth, thank you so much. I'm going to finish this, but we'll have to do that off camera. But thank you so much. And Sharian, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Malikwa, thank you so much for joining us. We also want to thank all the other people who are here. So let's see, it was Bill from Fox Street Barbecue and Grill. We had the folks from Project Renewal who are teaching young people, which is something I know we all support.
Yes.
Young people how to cook and get careers. And that's it. Next week, totally different show. We will have Council Member Althea Stevens on the show, talk about a whole bunch of different things. And also, listen, our crew did an amazing job today, so I'm just going to listen. Thank you to Rebecca, to Will, to Kea, who was lucky because he got, he's
wing.
waving at me, he got the wings. But there's more here, so everybody can have. There's Joe, there's Marty upstairs, Kibben, and yes, he's our editor, and that's it. I'm going to have some more. Good night.
Thank you.
All right, stay with you.